Okay, we're Hilchos Halacha, and we're in the middle of Siv Vav. Yeah. So he says that the klal is that the person should adhere himself to the midas of the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And the prime trait the person should make his own is the midah of patience. And he says that the person should, first of all, should overcome all the pressures that are keeping him away from Avodas Hashem from the outside. And even more so are the pressures that are keeping a person from Avodas Hashem on the inside, between him and himself. The what he did and even what he's doing. A person should know that there's no such thing as despair in the world. It's never too late. And he says like this, all the faltering in the world, they come from the concept of getting old, that comes from the side of defilement. The person already sees that, come on, let's be realistic. I'm never going to change. I'm never really. Come on, what is going to come out of me? The Lubavitcher Rebbe is going to come out of me? Come on, it's ridiculous. That the person looks that he's already old in his sins, and these things that he's already used to, he's into them, he cannot stop it. It is impossible you should stop it in any way, shape, or form. A person needs to know and believe every day, at all times, every hour. It is possible for a person to totally renew himself and start all over again. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does new things at all times. There's not a day or an hour that resembles the other. Start every day new. There's a. They say that the Halacha of Lublin, one of the great tzaddikim of all time, he said that every night before he went to sleep, he used to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, tomorrow will be good. Tomorrow will be good. I said same thing yesterday. No, but today I really mean it. Today I really mean it. He says, I said that yesterday also. He says, no, but today I really, really, really mean it. Tomorrow I'm really going to be good. The frischkeit of the tzaddikim, this freedom to start anew, to begin again.
Why do we say that he makes new bria every day? Should he do it every second? Why are we saying that day? Is there something?
I'm sad because every single day is a different combination. Yes, of course, it's every single second. It happens every single second. It's not disjointed seconds. I mean, it's very much like when you're speaking. And you have to iterate every word. You're creating every letter. every utterance. But nevertheless, all the utterances and the coming to the letters, the iterations of the letters that make up words, that make up sentences, that make up paragraphs, make up stories.
Like you're saying, you're talking every day.
But what I'm saying, it's not just the fact that it's a renewal system that keeps on keeping on. It's something that yes, it is every second, but every second has to do with the other second before it, and after it has to do with the context of the minute, it has to do with the context of the hour, it has to do with the context of the day, it has to do with the context of the week, it has to do with the context of the month, and the kind of the year, and the kind of your entire life. What I'm saying is that he says that you should know that every day you already faltered. So you faltered already before you, but the whole day gives you a different context. The whole hour gives you a different context. He says you have to start every instant. Listen what he's saying here like this. There's no day or an hour that resembles another. He says sometimes you have a day, which is the context of the day that in this day, like in Sphere Soimer, the whole day is that sphere. You can have a day, the whole day you can say, whoa, today I had a red hair day. Forget about it, all things, it's like, whoa, this day, for the birds, forget about it. Sometimes they say, whoa, I had a great day. Today I had so every day has its own ups and downs, whatever it is, but the whole day in itself has its own kavanah, it has its own avoda that has to do with it.
It's almost like the watchmaker theory. Like you make a watch, you set it to tick, and you walk away and just let it tick. It's almost like it sets up the day. This is the way that it comes across to me. It's like saying it's almost like it's just letting it run.
I have a clue what he gives you this impression. But hey, we'll have to argue, right? No, I really don't know. It's like it says, "Al ken tzech is chazek b'chol פעם מחדש, להתחיל בכל יום מחדש." That's why you have to strengthen yourself each time anew, and to start every day anew. Listen to what he's saying now. ולפעמים גם ביום אחד צריכים להתחיל כמה פעמים. Sometimes in the same day you have to start all over again, a few times over. כמובן יהיה במקום אחר, as it says in another place. ואפילו אם יהיה כך זמן ארוך, even if it's going to be that way for a long time. יהיה איך שיהיה, no matter what. בכל שעה צריך להזכיר את עצמו בשם יזבח. Every single hour should remind yourself הקדוש ברוך הוא. ולשכוח לגמרי מה שעבר, and to forget totally what happened. מה שעבר עד הנה. ולהתחיל למתך מחדש. And start from now anew, כל מה שיוכל, as much as you can. I mean, this is the כביכול one of the secrets of when Adam Arishon says that אכלתי ואוכל. He says, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked him, did you eat from the Etz Hadas, from the tree of knowledge, good and bad? He says, מפרי הגן אכלתי, so the Medrash says, אכלתי ואוכל. We spoke about it a few times already. I ate, and I will eat.
That's what he meant, and that's what
that's what the Medrash says. It doesn't matter. What the Medrash says that in the context of what he said was that as well. And when you look at it, it looks like a chutzpah from Chutzpahville, that's right. Or Chutzpahberg, or Chateau de Chutzpah, or something like. Oh, it's like
Chutzpah United.
Yeah. What's the answer? The answer is that he told the Kadosh Baruch Hu, it's I'm going to fall again. I know I'm going to fall again. It's like people find themselves doing things that they know they should not be doing, and they feel, how can I come to Kadosh Baruch Hu and ask him for something? I don't even have it in mind to start.
Again, ask him to forgive me
It feels
again
like
for this.
it's not just that; it's that you feel like you're not growing. And you're the same person every year on Yom Kippur. You ask the same questions. Like you feel like you're not moving. You feel like you're not coming close to Kodesh Baruch Hu at all. Like it negates all the good that you have done.
In a nutshell.
One of the things that are so important to understand and to remember, Rabbeinu says in the Hilchos that are at the end of Sipurim Masiyot that it's like you're taking the inside of a circle. You know, if you have a telescope pointing to a certain point in space, and you move it like an iota, a little bit. When it gets, to outer space of what you're looking for, you moved it, like light years. The further it gets, the more just a slight movement over here, it's like.
That's a good one.
Rabeinu says that.
Telescope, he says?
Yeah, it says telescope, but Rabeinu speaks about from the mathematical compass. From mathematically. He speaks mathematically. The further away you get from the center, from where you are, how it goes, a slight movement. So the thing is that we have a certain compass. We have the Torah that tells us the way that we're supposed to be. This is the moral compass of every Jew. That's the way, that's the blueprint. This is how you're supposed to be. And everybody measures himself vis-a-vis where, this is supposed to be. And he says, I'm a joke. It's like, and not even a funny one. I mean, like, but the point is that what people don't realize is that if they just move an iota and change themselves, even a tiny bit, in upper worlds, it's like the telescope is moving, and it's like, Rabeinu says he's moving like thousands and thousands of miles. It's a totally different bria, it's a totally different mitzias. The Zohar Kodesh says, gives the ample example for this, or determination of this, when it speaks about the Daled Minim. You're supposed to wear the Daled Minim. It says the Daled Minim are weapons. The weapons that... So it says, why are we holding the Daled Minim on Sukkot? Is because we come out of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, with our weapons in our hands to see that we won the battle. And the Zohar says, how do you read this? How do you get? He says, who is the one who won the battle? The one who holds the weapons in his hand. If you look at the esrog with it looks like a sword, doesn't it? The one that holds the man of the cover beyond. So that's a funny question. What do you mean? That's the one who wins the battle. The one who holds the weapon. The one that hits the hardest. The one that stabbed his enemy. That's the one who wins the battle, right? When the one who holds the battle was good, so he holds it very nice and hold it. This is no. In this world, it's not about stabbing the opponent. It's not about finishing off Sammy. It's not about that. It's about fighting. As long as you hold the weapon in your hand, that's pshat winning in this world. That's the winner. The winner is the one who holds the weapons. The one that keeps on fighting. Adrabah, the worse the odds look, and the more pathetic it looks, you're still holding the weapon.
Rabbeinu says this is tefillah. Whoever dies with tefillah still is like the winner.
So the meaning is that we have a very distorted way of measuring success in this world. We measure, we have what we call, the American test. Did it succeed? Did it not succeed? Did you win the ball game? Or did you lose the ball game? That's the what's the thing that proves to you that in this world, that I don't feel any different. Like you said before, I feel like the same thing. But the feeling is a very, very crude
Deceptive.
barometer. Yeah. See, the thing is like this. When Rebbe Nachman, when he explains the techniques of nevuah, so he has a cute way of explaining the koyach hamedam. He calls koyach hamedam the dream center. That imaging factory that takes this really abstract messages, but normal people, it takes the messages from the subconscious, and at night when you go to sleep, it translates these messages of the subconscious into symbols, images, and that's what a person sees at night in his dream. It's the message from the subconscious is, now the subconscious, there's a lot of things going on. There's personal history, there's family history, there's things going on, whatever it is, there's self-image, there's all kinds of, the inner eye lives in the subconscious. And it gives out messages to the image center, which comes up with these symbols that are interpreted at night as a dream. Now, the union of Ruach Nevuah is when you receive messages which are basically spiritual messages. You come close to Kodesh Baruch Hu, you're having a spiritual experience, which we're having all the time. We're having it in when we daven, we're having it when we make a bracha on everything. We have it every Shabbos, we have it every Yom Tov, we have it right now, the 3 weeks that we're going through. We're going through these spiritual, we're having these spiritual experiences. But the thing about it is that our message center, or image center, so to speak, is connected to the subconscious. It's not connected to the spiritual experience. The spiritual experience is also, this kind of abstract message that needs the image center to translate it into images. So the first step towards Bechlal experiencing the spiritual message, connecting it to your image center, so to speak. It can be your feelings, it can be anything else. Is first of all, you have to disconnect it from your subconscious. This is what we call Bira Medama. Clean the Medama, so the Medama, this image center, because as long as it's connected to the subconscious, it's tainting the results. It's like taking blood tests in a dirty, you can't trust the results because everything is already tainted with your preconceived ideas. It has to be completely so. There are all kinds of techniques, that which they were called the ishtavut, the equanimity, what they call stoicism. You have to be a stoic to be like that. You're totally balanced it doesn't make a difference to you whether they praise you or they insult you. It's the same thing for you. It's called Midas Haishtabas. The Bala Musar were very strong on this avoida. That's the first step, of this connection from the I, from the ego, it's just like.
Rebbe Nachman says it. Rebbe Nachman said it. My wife cut out something, she put it on the wall. Rebbe Nachman says exactly that. Don't be affected by anything good or bad.
And that's the first step. That's the first step. Then comes a second step of what they called it Hidvodedut, and that step is where you're disconnecting yourself from the I. So you can see all the nevuahs, the Nevi'im were connecting themselves to spiritual, to the point that they were completely disconnected from themselves, that they could say, and at the year so and so was the Dvar Hashem to Yecheskel ben Buzi. Okay? Who is saying this? Yecheskel ben Buzi is saying that.
Third person.
He's talking about himself in the third person because he's not in connection with himself. You're so divorced, you're so from the I, from the ego, that you can talk about yourself. That the Moshe Rabeinu is all the time is like that.
Does that apply also to, like, let's say somebody does something wrong? You disconnect yourself from that action. It says, to what point is it okay to do that? Like, it's not let that bring you down.
Vadai. Of course. You have to understand that it goes even deeper than that. But I really don't want to go into of the knowledge and choice. This is Rebbe Nosson speaks about in the Hilchos basar v'cholov, Hilchos Tairovis, mixture of basar v'cholov. He speaks about that. But the main inyan is that being that we are, our image center is so connected to our subconscious, to our egos, to ourselves, that we fail to experience the spiritual experience. We don't feel it because because I feel like worse. And I mean, the Nevi'im, they go higher and higher and higher until, that we keep on saying that, when you're black, when you don't look in this world, which is the union of the blind beggar, you get your seeing center in your brain hardwired to see spiritual things. Because the first notion that comes to you is that, how can you see spiritual things? What, you're going to see thought? The question is, why not? How can you see a physical thing? What do you mean? It's a physical thing. No. What you see is a representation of that physical thing.
Is that spiritual?
Inside your mind is totally spiritual. The act of seeing is a brain function. It's not any less of a pillar that you're saying something physical than if you were to see something spiritual. When you do Shmir Sainayim, what you do is you're zeiche to see, to rewire the brain from physical to spiritual. You disconnect from the Gashmias and it goes to the Ruchnias. The same thing happens with the ears. The same thing happens with the mouth.
Are we saying let's say we're doing Shmir Sanai, we're doing it well, but all the things that a person may have seen in his life, it's still part of his memory, it's still part of his mind, it's still part of his...
That's where the of his Vedas come. You bring it about, and you do tshuva for. And you ask the Kadosh Baruch Hu to take it away. Rabbeinu says that the union of forgetfulness, the union that a person can forget, is a big milah. It's a big tool on the Vedas Hashem. Kadosh Baruch Hu takes it away, It's not something that there's a matar of Kadosh Baruch Hu that yes, you are able to forget. The truth of the matter is, most of our problems are not not forgetting. Our problem is remembering. Well, if I forgetting, it was our problem.
I mean, we want to remember.
No, we don't want to remember. We have
Stuff
problems.
to remember is what bothers us.
To actually remember, that's the hard part. That's what the dusha. This is where the dusha comes.
And when you say this, seeing the spiritual thing, you mean like the haskomo behind it, or
No. The kol ha'am roim es hakolot. And all the Jews, and all the people, they see the sounds. Why not? The action of seeing and hearing.
You have to believe your senses too.
When
you close your eyes, you see images, colors.
Besides, now, this is because the image center is connected to the subconscious. But once a person is you can see that even Bilam, when he wanted to connect them to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he went alone. Disassociated himself, from this world, so he can receive the message from above. So the kelim that he had were total tuma. But basically, is a process of disconnection from the I, from the ego, from the. I said, now the thing is that Rabbeinu given us a method. Has worked a method that with the koach of the tzaddik, you don't have to go to the avoid of the Nevi'im and the avoid of the prophets and all this thing. The only thing you need to do, you need to go to Kadosh Baruch Hu and you need to speak to him and tell him the truth and ask him for what you want. And do tshuva and do soul searching as to what are you still supposed to correct in it, and work on it and come to it again. That's what Rabbeinu said. Mash lachem lidog. What have you got to worry about? Mechar she'ani olech lifnechem. Since I'm going before you. So the poshta pshat is that Rabbeinu says that that. Madoch neshamas that didn't know him for thousands of years were waiting for him to come. He says, what do you got to worry about, being that I'm going before you, like I came to this world and I'm leaving this world before you. But what does he mean to say? What is it?
He's already born. He's already doing the tikkunim.
But the words of the Rebbe, "Ani hoylech lifnechem," I'm walking before you, going before you. The Kadosh Baruch Hu means that our tefillahs are really not royal. The Rebbe says in Torah Kuf Yud Beis, they can't even go up. The tefillahs cannot even go up. The story of the Baal Shem Tov. He came to a Bismedish, his Bismedish is full with tefillahs because they were so without kavanah that nothing ever went up. Rabbeinu says that if a person is zocheh once in a lifetime, to say a word of truth properly, that elevates all the tefillahs. It's like trying to take one of those keter chairs and move them by the speed of sound. It'll just fall apart. There's no possible way. But if you take it and you put it inside, a jet plane, put it inside a jet plane, no problem. It can fly the speed of sound. The point is that our tefillot, when we connect our tefillahs to the tzaddik, it's like we're taking the chair, we're putting it in the jet fighter, in the jet plane. Rabbeinu goes before us, and Rabbeinu davens for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to accept our tefillot, the way they are, the way we are. That way the tefillot can go through all the way up to Kodesh Baruch Hu without any hindrance. Even this, the lowest of the low. I mean, if by itself exposed, then there's no chance the children will never come, never rise up. But even an old woman walking, with a walker, is faster than the world champion from a 100-meter dash if she's flying and he's running. She's sitting on 747. She'll get to New York in 12 hours. If he keeps on running, he'll get in a month, maybe 2 months.
Forrest Gump took him to
the point is that we are dragged down by our gashmias, by the fact that we judge everything according to the way we feel. The thing is that you don't. The Rebbe told Rebbe Nosson this sentence, which should be like a mantra for every person. Just print it out and put it right next to this saying that your wife has put up. Put this right next to it. He told Rebbe Nosson, "You have no idea what the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants from you." What I mean, of course I know. He wants me to be honest, he wants me to be this, he wants me to be that, and show me a knife, and do this, and do that, and this, and that, and this, and that, and this, and that, and this, and that, and I'm none of those. And listen, you don't have a clue what the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants from you. All these things are true, you're right. This is what you need to shoot for. And the thing is that these are your moral compasses that show you where you need to get. Now the thing is that you're supposed to be happy. The true Ovid Hashem, the one that really got it right, the one who's really miyushav, that is really like his mind is balanced and everything is the way it's supposed to be. It is that you should rejoice with every single thing that you're able to accomplish. Then you got it made. But we're doing fakir. Since we are connected to our self-image, blah blah blah, all that thing, so we only see what's bad. We only see that which we don't do, that's what we don't manage, that which we are unable to accomplish. Oh, what about the good that you do? Big deal. The bad, that is bad. That is really bad. What about the good? That's the Asara. But the thing is, beseder. I mean, I can repeat this until I'm blue in the face, and it's still not going to make that much of a difference. Not to you and not to me. Which means that והיו הדברים האלה אשר הולכים צפך היום על לבביך. These words should be on your heart. What it says should be on your heart. Should be בתוך לבביך. What is על לבביך? It says, but you keep on saying this dvarim on your heart. It's himself something enters. At the end, something goes in. But tachas lemaisa is that you're supposed to be mischalik. You're supposed to come to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Now, when you come to Kodesh Baruch Hu and you want to be mischadesh, you want to regenerate yourself, to rejuvenate yourself, to start anew, you want to reboot yourself. Immediately you have all these mental roadblocks. I mean, who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? I'm not really gonna change, It's not gonna happen. But when you start, your role is to start again. It didn't work, so you start again. Right? Rebbe said that there were times that he started 1,000 times a day. He started again 1,000 times a day. Do you know what it means? That he failed 999 times. I mean, You know what it means to fail 999 times? You know, it's like you're putting your head on the table and somebody's holding your head and you don't have... There's not a chance. Give up already. No. To start 1,000 times, you need to have failed 999.
Something's got to give after all that.
Which means, Rabbeinu says that when a person finds himself in mud, lift one leg, then put it down. Lift the other one and put it down. Lift the first one, put it down. Then the second one, put it down. And he can say, "Come on, who are you kidding? It's the same thing all over again." I mean, it's like, but you keep on doing it, so you'll get out. The inner of Avodas Hashem is actually disregarding your own feelings about yourself. So you fail, and you have this defeatist thing in your mind that you're saying, I ate, and I will eat. I know I'll fall again. And I'm in the middle of doing this. Just took a little break, from the movie to talk to you for a few minutes. I'm coming back to it afterwards. So what is it better that the person should be in the middle of the movie and not talk to Hakadosh Baruch Hu at all? The Tachlis is that within the Vizako, mitoch avoida, from the avoida, from the... it's a joke. Said what, I'm making fun of Hakadosh Baruch Hu? No, you're not. You're not making fun of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. You are fighting the fight. You're fighting the fight here. One of the most incredible victories the United States of America. Actually, it's one of the most incredible sea victories in the history of the world. On the same level as Trafalgar and Salamis and Lepanto, from the Venetian coalition drove away the Ottoman, before the Ottoman, the Turks and the Persians and the Greek of all time. It got hardly any play in American media because the American Navy was very tight-lipped about it. Was the Battle of Midway in the Second World War. In the Battle of Midway, before the Japanese came and they smashed Pearl Harbor, the one thing they forgot to do is they forgot to bomb the fuel dumps. If they would have done that, then the entire Second War would have been different. They left the United States Navy basically first of all with 3 aircraft carriers as opposed to like 8 for the Japanese. They sunk all the battleships, everything. And then one aircraft carrier was damaged. The Lexington, I think, was damaged in a fight right next to Australia somewhere.
Lusitania.
No. And then it basically there were two aircraft carriers, and there were 3 of them. One of them got the Kitzur. Everything, the battle itself was a joke. It was a joke. What happened was that the Americans found out what the Japanese were going to do. They were to land in Midway, take over Midway. And so the Japanese, they realized that the American Navy, as feeble as it was, has to come out and fight them afterwards. And there was very elaborate. Japan had this big guy in the Navy, Yamamoto. He's the hero was the genius of and they had this faint movement in the Aleutians and in Alaska, and they came over there. But what they didn't know is that the Americans were able to break down the Japanese code, so they knew of this plan ahead of time. knowing this plan ahead of time, they ambushed the ambushers. They had the American forces came out and waited for the Japanese to come. Lamaisa, everything that Americans did on that day was pathetic and failed. Everything failed. The regular warfare at the time was that there were fighter planes, there were bombers, dive bombers and torpedo planes. Torpedo planes were slow and they had to fly for a long time very straight and they could shoot them down. The fighter planes was the defenders. And the thing is that the fighter planes would fight with the other fighter planes of the other side, keep them busy. Then the dive bombers would come and would get the other guys shooting up. That gives a chance to the torpedo guys to come in and, and lay the torpedoes and try to hit the, that's the doctrines go down. Everything went wrong. Even the one admiral decided he's sending only half of his planes. He keeps that, who knows what's going to happen. They couldn't get everybody off the ship on time to make a coordinated attack. So they sent it piecemeals. The fighters went alone, the dive bombers went alone, the torpedo guys went alone. The whole thing was a mess. And then they started looking for the Japanese. They couldn't find them. They couldn't find them. What happened was that the bombers from the island tried to hit the ships. In the meantime, the Japanese attacked Midway and basically laid it waste. They just bombed everything. They couldn't find the planes on the ground. They didn't know why the planes are on the ground. They still didn't figure out that they... So the point is that the three squadrons from the three American aircraft carriers of torpedo planes found the Japanese first. They were all shot down, each and every one of them. Two of them actually went to Australia, and I think a few of them, dead engines, no fuel, fell to the sea. Nothing happened. Because and just by quote unquote chance, yes. Because what the Kodesh Baruch Hu did was as they were just shooting the last of the torpedo planes, which is supposed to be the last hit, all the Japanese planes and were on the sea level, shooting down. This is when the American dive bombers discovered the caravan of Japanese aircraft carrier. 5 minutes, it's called the 5 minutes of Midway. The entire treasure of Japan became a funeral pyre. They finished 3 aircraft carriers on the spot, the next did the 4th one. That was the end. Japan, from that moment, from winners and conquerors, that day they switched and become the losers. It was just, everything else they did afterwards, Guadalcanal, whatever it is, was just pushing off the end. That's all they did. They lost the initiative, and in the Second World War, the Japanese and the Germans, everything revolved around Midway.
It was like 42.
And it was a mistake. The whole thing was a mistake. The whole thing was the thing is that the general, the admiral that won the Midway battle was called Spruance. He made 3 decisions that came down in history as the best military decisions of all time. One of them, he threw when the dive bombers went up, and the other guys fell to the coordinate attack, did not follow them. He told them, just go ahead and attack. Just threw everything. He realized the first hit, that's the one who's going to win the battle. When everything is said and done, the American forces were basically finished with Midway. They bamboozled everything. I mean, they fuddled everything. They fudged every single thing they did, except for one thing: 5 minutes of Midway. They changed the entire part of the war. So if you were to look at you seeing all these guys with the torpedo planes are slaughtered, it doesn't matter. All these things, it doesn't matter. Everything doesn't matter. The main thing is that 5 minutes, oh, this whole Battle of Midway, which altogether I think took about a week or something like this until everything was said and done. What I'm trying to say is that it looks to you as it's this desperate thing that you're throwing at filler, you're throwing at this, and it's in the middle of everything, and it's a joke. It's a joke. You're failing in every single thing that you can do. There's a 5 minutes of Midway in there somewhere.
May 1942, Admiral Isaruku Yamamoto
He was the
against Admiral Nimitz.
Nimitz was the high commander of
June 1942, U.S. aircraft flying from U.S. Enterprise, U.S. Hornet, U.S. Yorktown sunk 4 Japanese carriers, forcing Yamamoto to withdraw. The battle marked the turning point of World War II.
There you go. But it wasn't.
By the way, it was simultaneous, what people don't realize,
We have
the Nazis had the same experience.
In Stalingrad, yes.
Right.
The
Yes.
Russians?
Kodesh Baruch Hu made it that they said, that Churchill said, that until 42, we lost every battle, and afterwards we never lost.
Yes.
And it was like the
The fulcrum was Midway and Stalingrad in both.
I'll throw one more thing in. It was that summer that there was a massive tefillah here in Eretz Yisrael on Tu B'Av, just 2 days ago, on Yortzeit Tzeder Chaim HaKodesh. And they had, in the Haaretz newspaper, as once was maybe on that just Chaim until today, the headline was, Yom Tzom B'Tefillah. And everybody ran down to Har Zeisim, to daven there by Chaim HaKodesh, and they say, because that was it. The Rommel was coming and finished.
Yes.
They had
Rebbe Nachman told me about
they
that.
had worse than Eichmann. They had a guy worse than Eichmann sitting in Greece with a team, and the Mufti in Yerushalayim is going to supply the henchmen. They make quick concentration camps here, not even, boom, 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 everybody gone. And they went to Damar HaKodesh, it was Yom Tzom, and they said they saw an Eish, like a fire, go from the Tzion.
Rebbe Nachman told me about this.
They knew that they were going to be saved.
Rebbe Nachman told me about this, and he said that one of the Mekubalim in Yerushalayim, he was a Mekubalim in Yerushalayim, saw a light. Saw a light that told him that Tefillah was. He said because Rommel didn't lose a fight until then.
Never. And the whole thing turned then. Not only Rommel, but the Japanese, but the Stalingrad.
El Alamein.
The Koyach HaTefillah.
Yeah, that was the time. The point is that when you see what went right in the Battle of Midway,
Never giving up. No.
it's just it's
Make us
what you lose doesn't make a difference. If those 5 minutes is one hit, everything else I did wrong. In fact, right after it's not a history lesson, but right after the big battle, Yamamoto was not there. It was not with the aircraft carriers. He was aside with all his warships, waiting for Nimitz to come out with everything, and then he will finish him. What happened was he decided he's going to ambush the ambusher. He realized, it was a big disaster. They lost his 4 aircraft carriers. At that time, it was 3. So what he did was he waited for the American forces to chase after him because that was American doctrine. Spruance decided that up to 12 o'clock at night he was going towards the Japanese, and then 12 o'clock at night, midnight, he's turning back, and he's going back to Midway, where he could do damage under the air umbrella of this. And he had an ambush by Yamamoto that would finish him off. That was the second decision of Spruance to save the. At the time they said he's a coward, he's running away, whatever it is. He preserved the victory, otherwise it would have finished him off. B'kitzur, you know when to step back. You don't know what is the thing that's going to make the difference. Patience.
It was Japan's worst naval defeat in 350 years.
צריכים להתחיל כמה פעמים במבוכה. אפילו אם יהיה זמן לקח זמן, even going to be a long time, and you're going to be losing more battles and more, you're going to lose all your battles. And you're going to keep on throwing, this like, a feeble, attempt like a rabbit pulling a lion. Well, that's a joke. It doesn't matter. Be that as it may, בכל עת ובכל שעה, צריך להזכיר את עצמו בשם מזבח, לשכוח לגמרי מכל מה שעבר, you have to remind yourself הקדוש ברוך הוא, and forget everything that passed עד הנה, ולהתחיל מהתהום מחדש ממש, and to start anew completely, כל מה שיוכל, whatever you can. Even if what you can is pathetic, and you are failing 99.9999% of the time, even during the failure, you're still trying. Don't look at any confusion, any kind of dispiritedness, and this is arichas apayim, this is patience. You have to be patient. All you have to overcome all the confusions and all the obstacles. You shouldn't look at anything. And don't give a hoot. What's
the difference between me and a dead owl?
No. What's the common denominator? What's between you and a dead owl? You don't give a hoot. Gurnished. You don't care. You don't care. And don't be scared. And don't become impatient. Mikol Mashover, with anything and anything, whatever is going over you. But strengthen HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chol ma sheyuchal. It is so easy that in the middle of the whole thing, and you keep on failing, and you're saying, but do I really trust HaKadosh Baruch Hu? That He's going to help me? Yeah, I am. No, but I had this moment that I didn't really trust. It's okay, so now you do. That's the fight. That's exactly the fight. Hashem is filled with rachamim, with compassion at all time. And the chasadim HaKadosh Baruch Hu are never ending. They never should be. We spoke about it quite a few times. But such a thing, you have to repeat it endlessly. That's your life. And the fact that most of the people are far from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they lose what they lose. They lose real eternal life. Most of them are because of being demoralized. Most of them have tried a few times to start. They started with Hashem a little bit, and then they fell to whatever it is they fell. Each one according to whatever it is that he fell. But they said, I forget about it, I'm never going to make it. They became discouraged and they just left it. All the pound, and a few of them, woke themselves up one more time. או פעם, עוד פעם, או פעמיים, או פעמים, one time, or a few more times they started again. But since afterwards they see that they fell over again, they became discouraged, they became despaired. They saw that they tried, they wanted. What else? I tried a few times, but it never succeeds. It seems to them that they have no koyach to restart, to reboot, to start again. This is the Baal Dover himself. That's Sammy himself. This is the old age, the old geezer. He's called an old and foolish king. He wants to dump a person into into defeatism and dispiritedness and feebleness. Kilu kvar nizdaka mechatov, as if a person has already gotten old in his sins and in his deed. Until it is impossible to change again. Ubemet lo chenu. This is not the case. Ki b'chol yom ha'odom bir chadosho. Every single day a person is a new person. K'mo she'amavachim b'chol yom al tilas yadayim. Every single day we're making a brochas al tilas yadayim, v'sh'ar brochas shel asani goy ve'eved ve'isho. Because a poskim atam, and the poskim said, what's the reason we're making the bracha every single day? You make it once and finish. When you're bar mitzvah, say the brachas and finish. He says, a person is a new being every single day. And then that's you make the bracha that is giving the weary, the koyach, the energy, the power. This is the bracha that you make, and the fact that you have your brain was rebooted. A person needs to be very careful not to fall into old age of tumah. You have to strengthen yourself and rejuvenate yourself and regenerate yourself every single day. You should see every single day, you were born today. Today you received the Torah Mechadash. And to answer the question that you asked before, about the memories. When a person does tshuva, the meaning of all the things that he has done flips over. It flips over. Which means, let's say that a person that was a criminal, and he does tshuva and becomes a tzaddik, the zdoinus becomes zochias. Look at him, somebody who was such a whatever, he becomes such. So in other words, the worse he was before, the more meaningful it makes his tshuva. We spend many times to give Uri Zohar that he was this filmmaker and fun maker and whatever it is that you want. The one who created the League for the Prevention of Religious Coercion. The leader of the Israeli new culture. The illustrious filmmaker, whatever. He was like, Steven Spielberg and Johnny Carson and Groucho Marx roll into one for Israel. He was the one. When he made tshuva, he shook everything else, and basically 100,000, 200,000 Balei tshuva people that tasted the ear of tshuva, even those that fell off again because of his chutz.
What was that year? What year was that?
It was 76, 75, 76, 77, around that time.